Hello and welcome to the show. This is Addis Dialogue from Ethiopian Broadcasting Corporation with me, Gzacho Derib. Ethiopia is the second populous country in Africa next to Nigeria with a total population more than 130 million. This, according to UNFPA's and Worldometer December 2024, the total population of Sudan, Eritrea, Djibouti, Somalia and Kenya did not exceed 130 million, which equals to the total population of Ethiopia. Furthermore, Ethiopia is the fastest growing economy in sub-Saharan African countries as well. Both the booming economy and the booming population needs a sea outlet. And yet, Ethiopia's generational quest is a sea outlet. Why sea outlet is a generational quest for Ethiopians? Regarding this and other related issues, we have a guest here in the studio. Before we delve into our today's discussion, let's have our guest, Mr. Idris Mohammed, the current president of International Diaspora Forum and the former Ethiopian Diaspora Association's president. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Gzacho. Thank you very much for having me here.
Before we delve into our discussion, what do you feel about Ethiopia's quest for sea outlets, which is a generational issue?
Well timed, at the right time. And I'll consider it as a second Renaissance Dam calling from Ethiopian government. Well done to the Ethiopian government that this is the right time, and it has been not only the generation questions, but it has been the question of the people of Ethiopia for the last 35 years.
Why is it such a generational issue?
Because at the moment, the skyrocketing of economical strain in our country and access to international market, the important export market strain in our economy, and our foreign currency pressure in our local currency. So somehow the generation came to know within the next 10, 20 years, if we continue like this, landlocked, we have no choice but to bust like an avalanche to our neighbors. So the current government have calculated wisely, timely, in asking all our neighbors, which has access to the sea, give and take an opportunity, peacefully. The demand of the current Ethiopian government, access to the sea, is peacefully with negotiation and give and take. What does it mean, give and take? Ethiopia, we have a lot of fresh waters, electricity, abundant agricultural materials, manpowers. All our neighbors at the moment are using it. For example, if you take Djibouti, Djibouti takes the drinking water from Ethiopia. Djibouti takes electricity from Ethiopia. Very soon, Somaliland will be having water from us and electricity from us. In return, Somaliland has given us access to the sea. So Djibouti, for the last 100 years, we have an access from Djibouti. So others, neighbors also must consider giving us this kind of access to the sea because, as you mentioned it earlier, that you said, our population is growing year by year. At the moment, uncounted population of Ethiopia is 130 million, but it could be exceed of 150 million. You cannot, under any circumstances, lock 130 million people landlocked and expect to grow with import and export market. And we, the people of Ethiopia, are 100% behind it.
On the Ankara agreement between Ethiopia and Somalia, the Prime Minister, Dr. Abiy Ahmed, expressed that the signing of these sea outlets between Ethiopia and Somalia has also spillover effects to the neighboring countries. How do you see its effects, both for the current and also for the future generation, Ethiopia's quest for sea outlets?
Well, as the Prime Minister wisely took the diplomacy all the way to Ankara, to Turk, and at this time we'd like to appreciate the Turk to make a peace with our own brothers, Somalia and Ethiopia. And the patience that shows our Prime Minister, Dr. Abiy, it shows you how wise, how wise and calculative move he made. On the mainland Somalia, Mogadishu, the Ethiopian government puts the life of Ethiopian soldiers for the last 20 years We've been protecting Somalian interests and Somalian people by paying in blood on our brothers and sisters. So the Somalians do appreciate that, and we will continue supporting that, fighting against the terrorism, Al-Shabaab or international terrorists. So we will be there for them. So they know we are a good neighbor.
Yeah.
They know very well that Ethiopia is a good neighbor to Somalia. And bear in mind, half of the population of Somalia, we have Ethiopian Somali, in Ogaden, and Jijiga, and Harar. These are Somali. So when you talk about Somalia...
We share common culture.
Absolutely. So the Ethiopian government, there's no mistake that geographical or political move that they make towards Somaliland, it was legitimate. And some other countries, politicians, so from geopolitical point of view, they don't want Ethiopia access to the Red Sea. They want us to be landlocked. This is a definition that has been for us for 100 years. Here it is now. We have clever, smart, young, and ambitious Prime Minister saying that, look, I know my home country, at the moment we have a fish market politics. Our home politics is as a fish market. But when it comes to the interests of Ethiopia, we all Ethiopians are one. We will march like one. We have showed it on the Renaissance Dam, and we will show this kind of unity and solidarity to Ethiopian government, access to the sea, very soon. So our neighbors, please, do listen to our Prime Minister. He's offering give and take opportunity. He's not saying, I'm declaring war on you, and the government is moving at the right direction, and our brothers and sisters in the jungle, wherever they are coming to our sense and to the table. And we just came out of horrible, horrible civil war. So we all know that there will not be no winner from war.
Yeah.
We all have realized that it is better to sit down and talk and hammer out on a table. So the government also, Dialogue Commission, the Ethiopian Dialogue Commission, is doing a fantastic job, and the Dialogue Commission has been independent in going out and meeting from the group up to individual, and well done to the commissioners, and continue doing that. The government is not interfering within the commission so far. There's no complaint. So for all the people of Ethiopia, our home political situation, yes, it's really bad, but very soon we'll come out of it. But the interest of our country and the future of our country is in our hand. So the generation is demanding on the government, are you going to leave Ethiopia without port and allow within the next 10, 20 years again to start another war with our neighbors? So this Prime Minister says, not on my time. So Dr. Abiy is saying, not on my time. There will not be any war, but I make sure for this concerned generation that you will have not only a port, but a naval base. A naval base. Why would we need a naval base? Because we have import and export, and we have ships. Our ships will be protected by the American ships or by the French ships.
Are we going to outsource?
Are we going to be depend on the Indian ships? No. We have 20 or 30 ships, fleets across the world. And it will continue within the next 10 years. Ethiopia will have maybe 100 ships, container ships we're talking about. Who's going to protect it? Offshore, onshore. We need our own base. We had a navy. We had a navy 30 years ago or 35 years ago. It's been destroyed politically. We don't want to go back. That's a spelt milk. Yeah, that's a spelt milk that the previous government has made a mistake, but we're not interested in. Looking forward and competing into international market. This is the aim of our government. Just like the Renaissance Dam. Believe you me, we made the Renaissance Dam. We will make having not only one port, we'll have soon 5, 6 port access to the sea.
In the course of our discussion, you've raised again and again about the local fish market politics. What do you mean by that?
One cannot forget and say Ethiopia at the moment we don't have difficulties. We have the issue of Fano. We have the issue of Shani. It's very sad. We just came out of ugly, ugly civil war with our own brothers, the TPLF, with the Grand people. So the government took guts and says, look, even if I win the war against TPLF or TDF, I'm a loser. Even if TPLF wins and EDF win, we're the loser. So the government took the initiative and says, come guys, let's stop the war. So literally, the war is in the table. TDF and TPLF are fighting against the Ethiopian government on the table. They haven't given up. They are still fighting. But that's good. It's a dialogue. So Fano and Shani must learn from that and says, even Shani wins the war, he's a loser. Even Fano wins the war against the Ethiopian government or in the battlefield, he's a loser because he's killing his own brothers and sisters. Our defense forces, even if they win the battlefield against Fano, again, we are losers because we are killing each other. So the government must show strength and show Ethiopian Dialogue Commission to come up with a good solution, bringing Fano and Shani into the table. That's what we call it. At the moment, whether we like it or not, our political situation is a fish market. It's so unfair, it's so stinking, it's so not fresh. It's not clear. There's too much character assassinations and too much killing, too much unnecessary wealth of opportunity, and giving opportunity for the outsiders to attack us. So at this time, I'm personally, this is my personal opinion, I'm asking the Ethiopian government to show strength. To show strength to our brothers and sisters who's fighting for whatever cause they are fighting for, whether it's legitimate or not. And for the Fano and Shani, please come up with a legitimate question, a reasonable question, a lawful question to the government, so that the government will entertain you fairly, squarely, within the law.
The armed groups leaders are surrendering to the government and are also ready to accept peace and to negotiate and to discuss with the government as well. Recently, what we are witnessing, so the numbers are increasing from time to time, those who prefer another alternative for dispute resolution with the government.
Absolutely, Gizacho. Let me congratulate the Oromian regional government. Well done to the Oromian government. It is accommodating. It doesn't matter whether there are small numbers, whether there are big numbers. That's not the point. But the Oromian regional government took initiative and says, guys, I will accommodate you. Whatever question you have, come up and I will treat you 5-star level. So the Amhara region and Afar region, or even Somali region, if they have armed struggles, especially at the moment, the question will be especially to the Fanos, the Amhara region must do exactly what the Oromo region did.
Still they are requesting for that.
Absolutely.
The regional government of Amhara.
Absolutely, they should do that. They should say, we will welcome you with 5-star treatment. Whatever question you have, the question must be reasonable, fair, and within the law.
Whatever within the framework of the Constitution.
Within the frame of the Constitution. Even to change the Constitution, you must come to the table. Look what TPLF did. TPLF may or may not have a reasonable question to question, but went to the war, hurt itself and hurt us, and we lost many of our peoples. Who was the winner in the war? No one. Everybody was a loser.
Definitely.
Everybody was a loser. We must learn that, and I call upon all freedom fighters, all brothers and sisters, please give a chance to the government.
It was simply, or in a very simple term, it was a tragedy of the common sense.
Absolutely.
What are the legitimate issues that puts or triggers the Ethiopian government to ask this is a legitimate and a timely issue to let others to be aware of what Ethiopia of today and for the future be?
Look, as you mentioned it, our population is growing, 130 million. Within 10 years, we'll be hitting 150 million. We will be the second largest population in the world. With 130, 150 million expecting, you cannot landlock such population. It will create havoc with the government. The import and export market will be hitting every door. At the moment, the import and export, the economical value is hitting every houses. Every houses. Whatever we import, at the moment we are importing oil, food, medicines, and fertilizers. It's harming the farmer. It's harming the farmer. We are paying every container $5,000 for one container. Can you imagine that? So tomorrow, whichever country in the neighbors will say, oh, no, I'm not going to charge you $5,000, I will charge you $10,000. How are we going to stop it? How are we going to stop it? Our imports at the moment is not growing. Our leather, our flour, our livestock, all our coffee, sesame seed, all that we are exporting is being hurt by the port fee. Never mind the demurrage that we're losing. My goodness. If you count that, believe you me, we are getting 3 billion. We're losing 3 billion USD to the port authority, to our neighbors. We are paying up to 3 billion. Can you imagine that? So if we have an access to our own port, and then whichever neighbor that giving us that access will give them whatever. It could be Ethiopian Airlines, it could be Ethiopian Electricity, it could be Ethiopian Water Authority, and a market, an individual country. They can come to Ethiopia, live in Ethiopia, open a business, live as an Ethiopian. Whoever, it could be Djiboutians, it could be Somali, it could be Eritrea, it could be Kenyans. The current Ethiopian government is offering, look, my population, unemployed is soaring. Our economical situation is soaring. Our house things are soaring. Everything is connected to import. The import has become impossible and untouchable to the market. So the people, before they become an avalanche on me and you see, when the people, you are suffocated, you'll be busted. So the first one will get hurt is the Ethiopian government. The second one will be, it's our neighbors. We need an access to it. I'll give you an example. Our telecommunication is one of the fastest growing in Africa.
Yeah.
Our internet market is very competitive. Guess what? Depend on what? Our neighbors? Our fiber optics is depend on our neighbors. Yeah. If our neighbors willing to just cut it, our financial industry will be destroyed. Our communication will be destroyed. Our development of market, free market, like, what do you call it, like Alibaba and all that, they're coming here, thinking Ethiopia is booming through the Ethiopian telecommunication market. The telecom market is booming through fiber optics. The fiber optics is passing through where? Through Djibouti at the moment. Most probably soon we'll be changing it to Somaliland. But if we have a port where we can control it, where terrorism cannot attack it, where no one can interfere with our own fiber optics, we will be securing for next generation. The next generation will have competitive access. Not only that, at the moment we have, I believe, up to 20 ships, container ships I'm talking about. We don't have oil carriers, maybe we're renting it. But we have up to 20 container ships. Very soon, our important export demand will be soaring very soon. Yeah. So we'll have 100 ships. Who's going to protect that? Are we going to ask the American government, can you make sure that our ships are leaving the port? Can you make sure that our ships are docking the port? Why would we do that? Why would American protect our ships? Or Indian, or the Chinese? Let me ask you a question, Gich. Djibouti is a very small country.
In terms of geographic size?
Even geographically and population-wise.
Definitely.
Djibouti is our brothers and sisters. They are very, very good. We have every Ethiopian family have a relative. Every Djiboutian family have a relative in Ethiopia. Especially, I am from Daredawa. My family is from Daredawa.
Which is very close to
exactly.
Djibouti.
I have brothers and sisters in Djibouti. And they have a brother in Ethiopia. So we are family. But why would there will be 40,000 Chinese soldiers, 20,000 American soldiers, 5,000, 6,000 Spain, and all this military area.
Military bases, yeah.
Okay. And then we are just, 20 kilometers? 50 kilometers away from the 1,000 kilometer seashore, and we're just sitting and watching it. Oh, we used to have a port one day. I mean, can I tell that to my son? How dare I'm going to tell my son, look, once upon a time we have a beach, but sadly, because of lazy of our politicians, we lost that. Dad, what have you done? The question will be from my son. What have you done to get me a port? What have you done to get me a seashore? You lost all that? Yeah. You gave up all that? Yeah. You must be lazy. Yes, indeed, son, I was lazy. But now, I have a good leader and says to me, look, whether we like it or not, but peacefully, we need a seashore. Exactly this question was 10, 20 years ago. The previous, rest in peace, Meles Zenawi, came up in 2002, I remember. We will build with our own engineer. We will build with our own economy. We will build with our own hand and lay the foundation of the Renaissance Dam. Who thought that today we have a light on the Strait of Ethiopia? We completely, at the moment, we will not consider not having electricity. We have electricity. Yeah. But the decision was made 12 years ago with all its ups and downs. Yeah. With all this concrete things, Tom and Jerry.
With all colossal damage.
With all collateral damage that in the Renaissance Dam, we have finished the dam. We have electricity. Our streets are light. Our factories are working. Every village is charging its mobile. Our communication is working. Why? A wise leader took a chance and challenged
And a collective engagement as well.
And collective engagement. Exactly now, the second calling of Ethiopian future that Prime Minister Dr. Abiy has calling us, access to the sea, 130 million people are behind you. Please, trying to clean up local politics.
He is a blazed laser.
Yeah.
Great. Mr. President, you were a president of Ethiopian Diaspora Association.
Yes, I was.
And currently you are a president of International Diaspora Forum.
That's right.
What is the role of diasporas regarding this legitimate quest?
Believe you me, we showed solidarity with a Renaissance Dam. I can assure you, all over diaspora, we will show solidarity, access to the sea demand to the Prime Minister. Because this is not politics. This is a matter of living and death. This is a matter of existence, giving Ethiopia back to its belongs to in the Horn of Africa. The Egyptians are trying to create the Red Sea Pact, excluding Ethiopia. Can you imagine? Excluding Sudan, excluding Uganda. So they are just trying to make revenge on the Nile basis of initiative that we did 12 years or 10 years ago. Now they come up with revenge, excluding Ethiopia from the Red Sea Pact. What does it mean? Can you imagine? Eritrea is a part of it. Djibouti is a part of it. Somalia is a part of it. Sudan, the North Sudan is Sudan, the mainland Sudan is a part of it. Egypt is a part of it on the Red Sea Pact, and Saudi Arabia and Yemen and all that. But Ethiopia, 20 kilometers, 10 kilometers away, with 130 million population uncounted, are watching in front of our eye the Red Sea Pact is being formed. Why? Now, you don't have to be a Cambridge, Oxford, or Addis Ababa University graduate.
To be analyst.
Yes. So the Ethiopian government is catching up and says, not under my time, not under my leadership, that without Ethiopia, there will not be a Red Sea Pact. I will be the part of the Red Sea Pact because I was Red Sea. I am Red Sea, and I will be Red Sea.
Over the dead body of all Ethiopians.
Absolutely. We don't need war. In a friendly and a diplomatic way, and in a give-and-take opportunity, believe you me, the next generation and this generation will come on you as an avalanche. That's why the Prime Minister is trying to stop. That's why Prime Minister says to the generation, to this generation, says, you have voted me, I'm in power, I've showed you what I can do. I'll soon, very soon, I'll clean up the mess inside the country, not by war, but by negotiation under the table. But when it comes to access to the sea, believe you me, on my time, I will achieve it exactly the way I finished the Renaissance Dam. So we trusted it. That's why we are 100% behind them. So the diaspora community will do exactly, will show solidarity, what we showed to Renaissance Dam, financially, economically, diplomatically, and we will campaign, because this is not politics. This is not Bilzagana, this is not Fano, this is not Shani. This is
simply Ethiopia.
This is the existence of our motherland, the existence of our economy. This is the future of our generation. So when it comes to the future of Ethiopia and the next generation, all Ethiopians, all for one, one for all, to access to the sea.
Being landlocked is not an exception to Ethiopia. There are many landlocked countries all over the world, but they have the right to access to sea outlet. Could you share us some examples or experiences of international customs where landlocked countries have the right to access to sea outlets,
Absolutely.
where they have exercised such rights?
Yes, Mongolia, for example. If you take Mongolia, it's stuck between Russia and China. But the Mongolian authority have peacefully, nicely, have dealt with Russia and with China, and China has given them access to the sea, and China have an absolute monopoly over the Mongolian market. Let me just give you an example. The Great Trump, he came back, you know, so I call him the Great Trump. He's promising the people of the United States of America, I will return the Panama Channel. Yeah. What does it mean? Why would he do that? The previous government, lazily, or whatever it is, for fairness, that the people of America have paid for a building of the Panama Canal. It's the Pacific and other oceans. It will join that. So why would elected President or elected president, the great Trump, would say to the people of America, I will give back the Panama Channel. What is the reason? What was the reason? Is it geopolitics? No, it's economical. It has become impossible for the American market to compete with Chinese and Europeans and Indians and African. So the American become so independent on China. This particular Panama Channel is taking, what, 40%, 30% of in and out American containers. So Trump says, wait a minute, who built it? Who built the Panama Tunnel? USA, American people. So I'll get it back. It's purely from the interest point of view of your nation. So when Prime Minister Abiy is coming and says we need access to the port, it's not for Bilsegana. It's not a question of Bilsegana giving us port. It is not that the election is coming up around the corner, now he wants to be popular so that people will elect him because he came up with such a great idea. No, it has been a question of 30 years, 35 years. But no government gave ear to it. No government in Ethiopia, whatever, previous government, I'm not going to blame them. Here is the first time Prime Minister says, listen, generation is asking me access to the sea, and I'm hearing it, and I'm going to get it peacefully. Thank God. Thank you very much. We'll be behind you. What happens if it fails peacefully? No. We're ready for it. Any way, have it the way. It's a message to our neighbors. We are asking give and take opportunity, or by international law, because by international law will give you access. If you are less than 100 kilometers or 50 kilometers from the shore, you have an automatic access to the sea. Yeah, but this is not
the case
in Ethiopia. These are our port. Historically, these are our country. It was our
brothers and sisters.
We were brothers and sisters. When it comes to our separation, like husband and wife, it was divided unfairly. No. So are we going to question that question? No. We're not going to go back there. We're not going to go to Algeria. We're not going to go back to UN and dragging our brothers and sisters into the international court. No, we are asking you, can we have an access to the sea so that in return, we'll give you what we have. Anyway, we are giving you at the moment, we're giving you food, we're giving you opportunity, we're giving you electricity. Anyway, we are giving you. We cannot stop it because they didn't give us support. But now the demand has become so unbearable. Our economical and the cost of living in Ethiopia has become so impossible. We do need access to the port. Okay, what happens if we have a port? Believe you me, Gage, believe you me, the price of oil, food, and medicine will be insured between 40 to 50%. It will be cut. It will be cut. And the short supply of medicines, food oil, and what we are importing, and fertilizers, and raw materials, steel, believe you me, it will be 40% cheaper. Because infrastructure will be built, road will be built, railway will be built, okay? And all roads will be built solidly. Anyway, we have infrastructure. We just have to renew it, rebuild it again. So with infrastructure is built, and our telecom business at the moment, what we are paying is that because the cable is going through our neighbor, but this time the cable will go through our port. So the cost of the telecommunication and internet will be cheaper. Not only that, our export market will be boosting. Now, at the moment, the export market is suffering because of the cost of port, because of demurrage. Our import is skyrocketing because of port demurrage. I mean, you don't expect milk powder importer in Ethiopia. He bought the Nido milk from Dubai for $10, let's say, for $10. By the time he's bringing it to Djibouti, the Nido milk will cost them $20.
100% increment.
Absolutely. And the transportation and blah, blah. So do you expecting him to sell it less than $30 or $20?
It cannot be affordable.
It cannot be affordable. And either he has to stop importing baby milk, or he has to work during the profit. But if we have our own port, the demurrage will be cut, the container price will be cut, our ship docking value will be cut, obviously. Then the price control will be controlled by the government. At the moment, believe you me, In Ethiopia, having a car is a luxury. Why? Why is so having a car is a luxury in as a diaspora? Having a car is not a luxury, it's a necessity. It has become in Ethiopia, having a car has become necessity. But why is the cost of vets in Ethiopia is almost 1.5 million birr? Why is that? Is it because of taxation? No, it's not. No. It's because of transportation. You buy it $1,000 vets in Dubai, and to import to bring it to Djibouti, you will pay another $1,000.
So it will cost you 100% of the initial price.
Maybe there will be damage. There will be transportation costs. So all that has to be added, including profit. Obviously, the $1,000 car become $5,000 car. Good. So it is knocking every Ethiopian houses, having no port. Why the previous government underestimates access to the port, just a service? Because of short-sighted. That's it. Let's put it that way. They were just short-sighted. Yeah. We cannot blame them because they are already passed away. They are dead. Rest in peace. We're not going to go cry over spilt milk. Yeah. But the current prime minister came up with an excellent second Renaissance dam of access to the sea. We, the diaspora community, believe you and me, with all our differences in local politics, our fish market, we will be there 100%.
Stand firm.
Absolutely.
Good. We are living in a very dynamic and ever-changing world. Few groups don't want to see Ethiopia's development and growth. What's your take on that? Where we are living in such a dynamic world, but few groups don't like to see Ethiopia's development.
I will blame myself and you. It's our fault.
How?
Because of our misunderstanding locally. For a small issue, everybody is going to the jungle. For small issues. Big issues, there are. Big principles and big questions, you'll go to the jungle and fight the government and come up with solidarity to say that, no, I'll not be stand dictatorship. But in Ethiopia at the moment, the unemployment of the youth become so bad. Small issues become, it become as a freedom fighter. And our so-called our enemies, our historical enemies, or our few enemies that you call them, I call them our historical enemy, they will definitely capitalize on our weak point. What is our weak point? Because our local political is a fish market, is a stinking, unfair, unjustified, and unreasonable and intolerable political situation we have in our country. So when we clean up that mess, and the government is committed, to listen and be tolerant within the local issue, then the enemy, so-called the historical enemy, they don't have access to penetrate and play with us. Because always, like Adwa, like Karamarra, we stood firm when it comes to our national integrity.
Even the Battle of Gundet and Nugura as well.
Absolutely. So it is our fault. We need to clean up ourselves. I will call upon the government of Ethiopia and says, listen, please encourage whistleblower within the government so that you will know exactly how people feel. So it's encouraging this, what we call Rasputinians. Oh, we're doing fantastic thing. Oh, we're doing good. We're doing corridor this. We're doing that. We're doing that. Yes, of course. Everybody's happy with that. But the government, if he wants to continue, and he wants to see the renaissance of Ethiopia, and he wants to continue the development of Ethiopia, the government must encourage whistleblower within Prosperity Party and cover them. That means they show you exactly where did you go wrong. If the government has to go back to the drawing board of Meddemer,
or synergy.
Yeah, go back to Meddemer. The government must go back and see the drawing board again. The government must not be afraid of being criticized. No way. He's doing a fantastic job. You know that. But still encourage whistleblower within Prosperity Party. Where are we going wrong? What are we doing unfairly? Why we're not giving justice? Why we're not giving employment? Why the people are not happy? These should be on the table, and the government must be ready to listen a whistleblower within his party, not from outside. The government may not listen to opposition parties.
What about civic societies, diasporas?
That's all right. Don't worry about it. Maybe we don't have a culture.
Okay.
Maybe we don't have a culture to listen, to be criticized. That culture has, we need to pass it to the next generation. We came up very conservative culture. You have to understand that. We're Ethiopians. No one wants to willing to listen to that. So our governments are is my brothers. The Prosperity Party leaders, they came from us. They didn't come from Mars or Jupiter or Timbuktu, Kathmandu. They are from here. So they may not be willing to be criticized, to be listened criticism from outside, from civil society, from the diaspora. No, they may not. Fine. Okay, we know. At least encourage whistleblower within the party. From the party. Within the party, if you encourage whistleblower, you know exactly what you're doing. You know exactly where you're going wrong. So that will give you an opportunity to clean up the fish market of politics.
Good. This is interesting and quite remarkable, really. Mr. President Idris Mohammed, former Ethiopian Diaspora Association President and the current President of International Diaspora Forum, thank you very much for your critical analysis and insight as well.
I thank you very much also for giving me opportunity. And
thank you.
Very much.
Thank you very much.
Shalom.
Thank you.
Right.
Shalom. Dear viewers and listeners, though Ethiopia's economy and population are booming, and at continental level, Ethiopia's fastest economic growth requests not only the government but also all Ethiopians and Ethiopian partners to have the right to access to sea outlets. Ethiopians can't afford being landlocked, but they are claiming a legitimate request to have the right to access to sea outlet. By this, we'll end our today's program. Thank you for being with us until we meet with another edition of Addis Dialogue. Goodbye for now. With me, Gizachew Derib and the other crew members. Thank you very much. Goodbye.